The title of Grandmaster was first officially awarded in 1950. Now, in 2017, at the St. Louis Winter Invitational, that tradition continues. Hello, chess fans, and welcome to Day 4 of the 2017 Winter Invitational, the GM and IM Norm tournaments. Today, we see rounds 6 and 7, and this is the last day that we will have 2 rounds played in just one day. Recently, we started seeing the players get mathematically eliminated, and the numbers of possible norm earners are dwindling. Stick with us on YouTube for the next couple of days as we wind the tournament down to its thrilling conclusion. We've seen some of the hopefuls here in the GM norm section, but here's one of the gatekeepers representing Hungary, Grandmaster David Berczes. David, you played Nikhil Kumar today, and you completed what you called the trifecta, and I'd like you to show us some of that game, if you will.
So I played queen before. I want to chase this queen with queen d6. I really wanted to get rid of the queens. Unfortunately, I was not able to. And here, for instance, he could have played queen g4, maybe, instead of rook c7. But it's very suspicious. I'm not 100% sure it works because of queen a4 and this bishop is trapped, so yeah, I'm not sure, but okay, he played rook c7, which enabled me to play f5. The point is this a5 is not hanging because pretty checkmate on f8. So he left the back rank, so I try to capitalize on that. Okay, now I'm threatening with e6. F takes c6, bishop e6 win on the spot. So he played king h8, which is pretty logical. And again, the point is if I play queen d6, he always has his queen c8. And now my pawn is on c4, it's hanging. And I'm not sure it looks very good. I have 2 pawns, but how to make progress? You know, that was my main problem here. So I had to retreat. My piece is this bishop on a3 is not doing much, so I had to put back b2, creating some potential pressure on this diagonal. Obviously, that's my main objective, to play some e6 and open up the lines and everything. Okay, bishop b2, and he played bishop b7, and I had already like a few minutes, like 2-3 minutes left, and he had 25 or something, so I wasn't sure what I'm doing here. So I played e6. I just didn't say anything else. I had to force matters here, hoping that there is some checkmate, you know. So f takes e6, only move. F takes e6, my queen d8, and I played rook f1. That was a strong move. And I think I'm still winning, even though this pawn structure is now a little bit messed up compared to what I had. Because I have double pawns, but the point is that he cannot move. He can never take on d5 because I just capture with either pawn. And my pawn structure will be just perfect. And if he plays bishop c8, I also have sometimes this rook f7 move. So, and maybe queen c3, rook f7, or first rook f7 immediately. And this g7 pawn is really a huge target for me, and probably his back is just losing here. So he played a6, pretty logical, and I think probably the trickiest move ever I made here. So I played here queen d2, aiming to take on h6, right? And trying to regroup in basically replace my queen here to this side, because not doing much on b4. So, and he after queen d2, I saw this checkmate, and I made my opponent believe that I blundered the pawn because I started shaking my head. Oh my god, how could I blunder this? And he was like, this? Took. And you know, and I was like, oh my god, I blundered this. But okay, it was trick, which I mean, nothing. Okay, I didn't do it obviously, but just to some extent, you know.
Just psychology.
Yeah, it sometimes works.
Yeah.
But probably okay, he took on e6, which was just losing on the spot. So probably the only move is king h7. But I was going to play queen f4, and I believe it's totally lost for black. That's what I thought, because now I'm threatening with queen f5 check. The idea if he goes king h8 and queen g6, and you cannot play queen g5 because the c7 rook is hanging. And if you take, I just recapture either pawn, but I can't really move. For instance, like queen e7, then just check on f5. If you play g6, then okay, just queen e5, and my rook is coming to f7, and this is just deadly. You know, the diagonal is just deadly for black. So if you play king g8, then I have just queen g6, and again, let's say rook f8, probably just rook f7, winning immediately. So yeah, this bishop is just a killer here. I don't know, probably it's lost anyways, but this was just really a nice way to finish off this game. So bishop a2, queen d2, and I'm really grateful to my opponent that he allowed me to give this checkmate, because yeah, he could have resigned here, obviously. So, but as I've seen, he always allows checkmates. So these kids allow checkmates in the US. I experienced that in my 3 years. Yeah, it's rare. It's very rare, because on high level tournaments I played, they never allow me that. They always resign like 4 or 5 moves before the mate. So not even 1 move. So yeah, queen d2, check, check, rook aj, checkmate, and yeah, it was amazing. I really like this. I don't remember giving a checkmate in the last, I don't know, even 1 year or something.
It might have been a while, right? Well, FIDE Master Kumar, as oddly as it was, we had him on our list as having a rating identical to yours. So even though he doesn't have the IM title yet, even to be on par with a Grandmaster, at least in that mathematical capacity, is a special thing.
But he was 2,200 like 2 rating lists ago. 2,200. But because due to this K factor, 40, he won like 250 points in 2 lists. Rating this because this K factor is incredible.
That K factor. It's incredible. Well, so the trifecta is complete right now. There's more to come though, and no more 2-game days. So how do you feel about that?
Oh yeah, that's true. Only single days are coming. Oh yeah, I'm really happy. It's been a very exhausting tournament because the competition is super strong. Like, I think the average is like 2470 plus or something, 2475 or something like that, which is the strongest GM tournament I ever played. Like, really. So I usually play I play GM tournaments like 2400 average, but here everyone is very strong. Like all these kind of talented kids, like I won there, and my today's opponent, and also Cheka is also like 15 years old, and Gorovets is an IM, but he's 25-30, so...
We're glad that you had a great time here in this tournament so far. So much. More to come, yeah.
I'm trying to get first place now. I think we are like 3 of us, because I won there lost. He was leading alone by half point, or 1 point, and now he lost very fast with white, surprisingly. So we are like...
Well, hopefully, I want to talk to a wonder here coming up. But let's check out the Grandmaster Norm standings after 7 rounds of play. In the GM section, only 3 players can earn a norm. An excellent 6.5 points in this field will net Liang and Ali Marandi a GM norm. And oddly enough, 4.5 points in this section will get Abrahamian an IM norm. All right, and in the IM norm section, I am with FIDE Master Joel Banawa, who just had a win over Doug Eckert, one of our local favorites. Joel, take us through the game and show us your favorite parts.
I think Black's position is much easier to play. That's a problem with the 3 pieces. If you can't coordinate all 3 pieces against the queen, then it could be really problematic for the player with 3 pieces. Especially at this in this game, I have 2 pawns against 1 on the queen side. It's always a problem, because if I could win this pawn, or I could start advancing my pawn, and he can't coordinate his 3 pieces, then he can't stop my pass pawns. And I think that's what happened in the game. So I just want to add that instead of knight e5, I think white should have played rook f1 here. I was expecting knight to e5, and then if he plays rook f1, I was calculating bishop to d4. And the idea is if he takes, and I can just play bishop f6, and the knight is trapped. Maybe his tactics with bishop d5, not really. But I think at this point I was very happy. I thought I was gonna win this this game. He really couldn't coordinate his 3 pieces due to his king safety. The king safety was a major issue. And here This was a really careless move. I knew that rook d5 ideas existed here, but I completely forgot. Rook d5 was just so powerful here. I can't just move my queen, for example, to e6, because after queen e6, trying to attack the knight and the rook at the same time, but he played knight c5. And after queen to f6 and rook takes f5, he has more tactics in the position. So, oh man, I wasn't happy after this. Well, the only attempt that I have is to go after this pawn on a2, but I wasn't really sure if this is winning. Maybe there's a good way for him to stop my pawns, but I think due to time pressure, he wasn't able to find the best defense. Originally, I was expecting rook e2, but rook d2, queen e3, rook b2, rook b2, b3. Okay, I think I was expecting something else. For example, take a3, and now he played rook b1. I think I was expecting rook a2, and after queen takes b3, this might be his best hope, and then bishop d5. I'm probably still losing. I think this is losing, just so he can create some sort of fortress and stop my pawn, but my king is going to get activated, and I'm going to try to attack and pressure on the king side. And I just want to add that if he plays rook d2 here, then I can just take the rook now, because my pawn is going to be unstoppable. I could play a2. So probably at this point, this is now lost. There's a really cool pattern in the endgame where white has a bishop and a knight against a queen. He could form some sort of fortress. Unfortunately for white, there are still pawns around, and worst case, I could sacrifice my queen for these two pieces, and then I will make sure when I sacrifice my queen that I'll be out positioning this the king on h2, and so I can transform the game into a one king and pawn endgame. But I thought advancing the pawns could only harm him. Maybe the best try is just to keep the knight on e4 and maybe move the king and wait. But again, I'm probably gonna move my king all the way to e3, and I'll wait for the perfect moment to sacrifice, or maybe I could create more weaknesses. But there are certainly a lot of different ways for black to win here. And well, pushing the pawns didn't really help him, especially g4. This is probably the biggest blunder. Now, if I could put my king on f4, then everything in white's position just collapses. And if you have the queen, you have to make sure to keep the pawns on the board, because the queen can't really win against a knight and a bishop with no pawns. And yeah, this is already lost. He's on a Zugzwang here.
Well, Joel, congratulations on the victory. And you're welcome. And absolutely, this is an interesting situation that you're in, because while technically we have you on the leaderboard with 2 rounds left to go, you're in first place, could get a norm. Well, you don't need a norm. Tell us about your situation.
Well, I already have a lot of norms. Basically, my primary goal in this tournament is to get my FIDE rating over 2400. And yeah, I was just so fortunate to get invited here. And yeah.
Well, that 2400 mark will get you the IM title. So best of luck to you. Thank you for joining me. And let's take a look, with 2 rounds left after 7, the IM norm standings. By now, in the IM section, only 2 players can earn a norm. An astounding 6.5 points in this section will net Banawa and Williams, an IM norm. 2 more days to go. The action continues through Tuesday, February 21st. Follow all of the action of the Norm Invitational at uschesschamps.com.